You sent a text 3 hours ago. No reply. In that time, your brain has rehearsed the conversation 40 different ways, built an entire case about what they think of you now. You haven't moved, but your brain tells you you're working on it. Your brain isn't broken. It's rewarding you for doing this. That's the actual problem. Your brain has a system called the default mode network. Think of it like background processing, the stuff running while you're not doing anything in particular. In most people, it hums along quietly. In you, it's on full volume, all the time. Psychologists call this maladaptive rumination, which is a fancy way of saying your mind circles the same thought like a dog chasing its tail, except the dog thinks it's hunting. And here's the part nobody tells you. Your brain rewards you for doing this, not with a solution, not with peace, with dopamine. Every time you analyze another angle, construct another argument, run another scenario, your prefrontal cortex lights up and releases a small hit. It feels like progress. It isn't. You just got rewarded for spinning. You're bleeding alone and calling it thinking. But why does your brain do this? Why can't it just stop? For a lot of overthinkers, the answer starts earlier than you'd think. Childhood, adolescence, environments where outcomes felt unpredictable, where moods shifted without warning, where mistakes had disproportionate consequences. Your young brain learned a very logical survival strategy. Think ahead. Anticipate everything. If you can predict what's coming, maybe you can protect yourself. That's not a flaw. That's an adaptation, a very smart nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. The problem is the training never stopped. The threat left the building years ago, but the system doesn't know that. It's still scanning, still preparing, still treating every silence like a coming storm. So the obvious fix is just stop thinking about it, right? Here's where it gets ugly. There's a famous psychology experiment. Researchers told participants, don't think about a white bear. What happened? They thought about it more, every single time. The instruction to suppress the thought became the thought itself. White bear. Every time. That's not a character flaw. That's a system that never got a signal to stop. You can't outthink a thinking problem. Your brain has a chemical incentive to keep going. The map is perfect. The territory hasn't moved. But here's what the brain is actually chasing. It's not a solution. It was always in something else entirely. Quick pause. If this is landing, hit subscribe right now. I put out videos like this every week. The psychology of why you do what you do, and what actually changes it. Most people who call themselves overthinkers are actually caught in one specific type of loop. Most don't know which one. Here's the difference, and why it matters. Psychologists identify two types of overthinking. The first is reflective rumination. That's turning inward to understand yourself. Process emotions. Make sense of things. In balance, this is a genuine strength. It's linked to higher emotional intelligence, deeper self-awareness. The second is brooding rumination. That's the passive loop. Dwelling without moving toward resolution. Replaying the text. Rehearsing the argument you already lost. Building cases nobody asked for. The tricky part? Most overthinkers slide from one to the other without noticing. A moment of reflection becomes a spiral. And because the thinking feels productive, because your brain is actively engaged, you can't tell when you've crossed the line. Therapists who specialize in anxiety disorders spend years on this. The insight takes about 30 seconds to understand. Here's what doesn't work. Telling yourself to stop thinking about it. That's neurologically naive. We covered the white bear. Instead, therapists don't try to stop the thoughts. They change the relationship to them. There's a concept in acceptance and commitment therapy called cognitive diffusion. Fancy term. Simple idea. Instead of,
this situation is dangerous and I need to figure it out,
the reframe becomes,
my brain is generating a concern right now.
One pulls you in, the other gives you a fraction of distance. That fraction is everything. Because here's the quiet truth. The mind cannot think its way out of every problem. Some things have to be felt, decided, released, not solved. The challenge isn't to stop the thinking entirely. The challenge is to teach that mind, gently and with patience, that it's finally safe enough to rest. Maybe the goal isn't to stop thinking. Maybe it's to finally feel safe enough to rest your mind. Your brain learned to stay alert because the world once felt uncertain. Understanding that doesn't erase the pattern, but it changes how much power it has over you. Don't just watch this. Next time you catch yourself spinning, one thought, one loop, don't fight it. Name it.
My brain is generating a concern right now.
Then move, phone down, go outside, call someone, do anything that isn't thinking about thinking. You're not someone who can't stop thinking. You're someone whose brain never got the signal that it's safe to stop. That's the thing that changes everything. Subscribe if this hit. I'll see you next week.